Hi, and thanks for joining me for another board meeting recap from the Elko County School District Board of Trustees meeting. We're talking about April 7th meeting, and we started our meeting with an introduction of our student board member, Monica Beltran from Elko High School. She's a junior over there, very involved and impressive in academics and co-curriculars and everything she's involved with at the school. So congratulations to Monica for being such a wonderful student and a great contributor to our meeting last night. We also recognized our STEM Fair first grand prize winners, which was a duo from Owyhee Combined School. Those students are Sakira Shorty and Kobe Kelly, and they talked to us about their project titled A Comparative Study of Green Roofs, Roofs with a Reflective Surface, and Conventional Asphalt Roofs, which was a comparison of how the type of roof that you have can have an impact on the internal temperature of a building as well as the exterior temperature of that roof itself. So very intriguing, great presentation, and congratulations to both of them. We also got to recognize Camille Bonafide, who is a student at Elko High School, and recognize her for being the Nevada State Speech and Debate Champion in her respective categories. And she not only represented us at the state level very well, but she will also be going on to the national level to represent Nevada. So congratulations to Camille, and a great job, well done. In addition, we were able to do some catch up on some STARS Award acknowledgements, and so we were able to do that for Celeste Bennett from who's a bus driver from transportation, for Jordan Montez, teacher at Elko High School, Nicole Moreno, teacher at Elko High School, Patricia Tanner, who teaches at Spring Creek Middle School, and Lainey Ulrich, who teaches at Carlin Combined School. Congratulations to all those stars. And then we also had one more presentation, and that was from the Elko High School Thespian Troupe, and they were presenting on Theater in Our School Month, which was last month in March. And they did a great job of just sharing not only the wonderful things they're doing, but what theater means to them and how it contributes positively to their lives. So congrats to the Elko High Theater Troupe, or Thespian Troupe, on doing such a great job, and to Janine Hoskins, who is their teacher, for supporting that effort at Elko High School. Moving on to the action items that were discussed at this meeting. It started with a couple of policy revisions, which were JDFH and JDDC. Both of these policies relate to foster students, and the essence of both of these was to, foster students and homeless students, and both of these, the essence was to get both of these policies up to speed with some legislative changes that happened during the last legislative session. Still a little bit of kinks to be ironed out with those policies, but we will have them shored up pretty soon, and just making sure you're aware that those happened last night. The next item that we discussed was we were seeking permission to go to bid for multiple stair projects, and those were to be done at Flagview Intermediate School, Mountain View Elementary School, and Spring Creek Elementary School. At all three of those schools, we have some staircases that are, exterior staircases that are somewhat dilapidated and in need of some repair for both safety and just aesthetic purposes. And so we're looking forward to getting to work on those projects, and that permission to bid was granted from our board last night. The next item was we are back to having to declare critical need status for all substitutes. There's a long list of the types of substitutes. I'm not going to read all of them, but basically seeking permission to declare critical needs for every type of substitute we have in our district. And so that approval was granted by our board, and so we will send that to the state to be able to widen the pool of substitute applicants we can have to make sure we always have coverage as much as possible where we need it when our regular staff are unavailable. The next item was the newest iteration of my update to budget changes and ways we're addressing the budget shortages that we're experiencing right now. This actually wasn't a super long item because we're getting to a point where we have done a lot already, and so just keeping people updated where we are. The board only has a few more things that they really have to make any decisions on. Those would be related to district policies regarding usage of district facilities by outside entities, district policies that have to do with athletics and a pay to participate model, and also district policy related to credit recovery. All three of those are very close to being done, and I would anticipate those either at the next meeting or the one after that. They're coming very soon. And so along with those policies, we would have some fee structure information to accompany them. The only other thing the board would have oversight over in regards to these decisions is that of any changes to our self-funded insurance plan, which we've been talking about as part of the changes we need to make to help our budget. The other items that I covered were items for us at central office to address. I gave a little bit of an update on where we are with positions in the district. Those numbers are attached to the slides along with this board recap. Update on 0 hours, working with the principals at our schools. We've been able to identify roughly $600,000 in potential savings next year by reducing 0 hours wherever we can. So we're going to try to do that as much as possible, but also recognizing that 0 hours may need to exist in certain contexts. Gave a little bit of an update on our NNVA expansion. We're still seeking ways that we can make NNVA more accessible to our folks who are seeking an online education option. We are also made a decision recently to eliminate the reading interventionist positions as a cost to the general fund. That was costing roughly $300,000 a year. It's a tough decision to make because it does provide Tier 2 intervention for students who greatly need it, but we're going to seek other ways to try to still provide those interventions and also seek ways to fund that effort even though we can't have it out of the general fund anymore. So that was a quick run through of all of those topics, and we'll continue to work through those in the coming meetings as we work towards the end of the school year. The next item after the overall overview of the budget addressing was a specific item about the budget, and that was that of what are we going to do with Chromebooks moving forward. So we've talked in multiple meetings about reducing the number of Chromebooks we buy on an annual basis, and a lot of conversation around do we stay 1-to-1, do we go 2-to-1 at certain grade levels, or up to 3-to-1 at certain grade levels. And so we've ultimately come to the conclusion that we are going to maintain 1-to-1 status with all of our secondary grade levels, so that's grades 6 through 12. We will move to a 3-to-1 model for elementary schools, so that's grades K through 5. But with all library and multimedia classes at elementary schools maintaining their own Chromebook carts for their class. But the big change to this that wasn't really part of the discussion before, but we've decided we can do, and this is good from a savings perspective, is we are going to find a way to not have to buy any Chromebooks for next year and still maintain this plan. So as opposed to saving only somewhere between $150,000 to $250,000 next year, we're going to be able to save closer to $1 million, somewhere in the neighborhood of $900,000, with the plan of moving forward as we start to have to buy those devices again, to do so in a fashion that would be more along the lines of the previous savings that we thought. But for next year, we're able to save a lot more than we were originally planning, so that's great. The last item, the second to last item that was presented was a receipt, review, and approval of a tentative budget for FY27. Cassie Stalkey, our CFO, gave a nice presentation about where we are with that tentative budget. From a timing standpoint, we do the tentative budget right around this time every year, and then we work towards the end of May with having a final proposed budget. So some quick highlights of that are next year we do expect our revenues to come in a little lower than this year at about $122 million or so. And then, but with our expenses also being down to about $115 million, hoping to start to work towards, building back up that general fund or that ending fund balance. Looking at the way the budget lays out right now, about 72% of that general fund would go towards staff salaries and benefits. And then there are other costs that kind of make up the rest of that, including transfers to other funds, and what our ending fund balance is right now. By way of information, for next year, despite the fact that inflation, insurance, merit increases, annual things that end up costing us more money every year happen, the per pupil allocation is only going up by $87 per pupil. That obviously doesn't keep up with those other factors. And we are doing a very conservative, all of these revenues are based on a very conservative student enrollment count that is anticipating further decline just because that has been the case recently. Were that enrollment to be higher, then revenues would be higher, and vice versa. If it were to be even lower than our conservative amount, the revenues would be lower. And what we're looking at as far as all of our efforts that we've been undergoing the last few months is our expenditures. We are reducing those by about 15 million when compared to FY25, which is great, but also necessary given the decreases in enrollment. We've been doing our best to cut positions through attrition, through class size evaluations, and try to maintain people's employment throughout all of these changes. Upcoming, we still anticipate more additional insurance changes, and all the other decisions that have been made since late February, early March, as we continue to try to address this, keep our district financially solvent, and make sure we can still offer the best instruction possible given the resources and the positions that we have. The last item that was discussed was among board members about the continuation of board services with Balanced Governance Solutions, where they used Dr. Ellsbury services for the purpose of board governance model, of developing a superintendent evaluation, and having a board governance handbook. And so they're going to continue with those services moving into the future, finding a conclusion to the project they started with that. And that was everything we discussed at the April 7th meeting. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions or want to see any more information about anything I talked about, all those links are below on the board recap. And I'll look forward to sharing a board recap with you after the next meeting. Thank you.